Hey everybody, welcome to Friday. And we have talked this week about the 5 freedoms that every entrepreneur wants. One of these 5 freedoms, right? On Monday we talked about financial freedom. On Tuesday we talked about time freedom. On Wednesday we talked about place freedom. Yesterday we talked about customer freedom. And today the 5th of the 5 freedoms is process freedom. And everybody weights these freedoms differently. They're, on how important they are to them. To me, process freedom is huge. I don't like other people telling me what to do. So the process freedom part of it is really important to me, and one that really drives me. I mean, if you think, okay, so what does process freedom mean? Well, on the farthest extreme, you can think about The Office and the TPS report, right? Stupid report that nobody looks at, nobody does, but nobody uses, but you have to fill it out, right? You have to do your TPS. You've completed your TPS report yet today, right? Tracking irrelevant things. I have worked at places where the things that they choose to track are ridiculous, right? They don't correlate to what's really important to actually getting the work done. In one case, I had a client that tracked defects that were in production. It's like while it's important to track that, it's not something you measure your people against. And they were measuring people against it. It's a lagging indicator. It's not a leading indicator, and you don't want to waste your time on lagging indicators. Yes, track it because it's important, but don't let that be what you use to plan and forecast. It's a lagging indicator. You want something that looks forward and is a leading indicator that helps you see what's really important. So, yeah, status reports. Oh my Lord, I have worked in places, worked for clients as well as an employee, where we would fill out. We would take the information that was readily available to anyone in actually a very clear format in a tracking system like, well, Microsoft Project isn't so clear, but some of the agile software tools, like Rally and version 1 and those kinds of things, Jira, provide some decent reporting. And if you clobber on AHA on top of all that, oh my gosh, talk about clear reporting. But we would take all of that nice clear reporting and then put it into a PowerPoint slide, like on a weekly basis. Or maybe it was every other week. I don't remember exactly. I've blocked it from my mind. It was so ridiculous. Put it into a PowerPoint and then give it to somebody else so that they could give a status report about it to people who didn't care. It had nothing on it that was actually helping them make decisions about strategy. It was informing them about what the team was doing and where they were in the process. While it's important to know whether you are on track or not on track, all of the detail that was involved in these reports, ridiculous levels of detail. So that's one part of process. The other part is, as a trainer and consultant, I couldn't stand for someone else to tell me you have to teach this by the book, because I'm kind of contrarian, and I know that not everything works perfectly the way you think it does. So I struggle with that. And so I can't stand being told that you need to follow the process. This is the process that we have. We've set it up for our benefit, and so you have to follow it, even though it makes you unoptimized. So there's a principle in lean thinking that says local optimization necessarily de-optimizes the whole. So you want to optimize for the whole, which means some local de-optimization is going to happen. But yeah, anyway, and there's always this pressure to don't rock the boat, and I'm looking at my notes just so you know. I always write a little bit of notes as I come to do these Facebook Lives for you, so that I have something to say. And you end up spending so much time doing these other things, all this process stuff, and then going to irrelevant meetings, that there's no time to get the real work done. And so I have launched my own business. I am my own boss. I am 100% the boss, the top dog, the CEO, for better and for worse. So I get all of the credit and all of the blame. And as a consultant, it is quite frequent that we are just the scapegoat, right? The people will sometimes hire us to be a scapegoat. I have been hired before to tell a company that a person needed to be fired. I didn't do it because I didn't think it was right. I mean, I took the job. They didn't explicitly say, tell us that this person should be fired or tell us that this person isn't doing their job, but it was implicit when I looked back on it. And I believe that everyone is doing their best, and sometimes their best just isn't enough, so we need to help them. And it's actually the job of the leader to do that helping and encouragement and uplifting and training and whatever it takes to help that person be successful, unless there's a misalignment with like actual fundamental business culture. If you're not in alignment with business culture, then that's a different story. But anyway, so for better or for worse, I get all the credit, I get all the blame. That's part of being your own boss. But also, I'm this contrarian, so I could never have written this book working for someone else, because what I wrote in this book, which is completely backwards on the video, it's called The New Agile Manager, if you can't read it backwards. And it's available on Amazon if you want. It's a nice short read, really quick, short. What it says is basically the job that I have done for 13 years as a consultant, being an agile coach. Actually, most of that job should not be done by agile coaches as a consultant coming in and doing this job. It actually should be done by the manager, because if this is the way we do business at this company now, and for this foreseeable future, then isn't it the job of the manager to help onboard people to the way we do business here? It's always been the way it has been in the past. Why do you need to hire someone special from the outside? Now, I'm not saying that manager can truly become an agile coach, because there's a lot more to being an agile coach than just knowing enough to get the person up to speed with what they're doing. But all of that is a big piece of it, and that should be done by the manager. So that's why, I could never have written that book if I was working for somebody else who was for like a consulting agency that was saying, well, we like the embedded coaching model because that's a long-term moneymaker for us, and it brings in a lot of cash. Nope, couldn't have written the book. I am always also creating new models and new formats, new approaches to things, and that kind of experimentation is at least stifled or held down. I have to ask permission for it if I was working for someone else, and I just can't stand it. So I get to design effective systems for me. So as far as how I track my time, what I do with that time, how much time I put into marketing, into sales, into servicing clients, into developing new products, new materials, into writing a new book. It's about time for a new book, isn't it? I have control over that. No one is telling me what to do in that. So this is the process. It's not just time. It's not time freedom. It's different than that. This is what you do, the act of working, and you get to decide that for yourself. And I get to decide that for myself. When you become your own boss, you get to decide what it is you do and when you do it and how you do it. So if you've ever considered that, I'd love to talk with you, because even just to chat about what my experience has been and all that, message me here on the Facebook thing or on LinkedIn if you're watching it there. And just message me. You can set up a 15-minute intro call. I can share my experience with you and talk you through some of your stuff that you're dealing with. Or maybe you're ready to start it and you'd like to have a breakthrough strategy session. Happy to get on the phone for like a 50-minute breakthrough strategy session with you, where we talk about what kind of business you'd start and how that would work. There's different models that, would you want to be, I won't talk about it in this. I'll make another video about the different kind of levels of being your own boss and what that looks like and all that. But so this is the idea of process freedom. If you're interested in learning more, drop me a line. I love you all. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.